This is The Breakfast Stable.
Good morning and welcome to The Breakfast Stable. Once again, my name is Jack Muller and it's lovely to have you joining us once again on Sunday morning on Facebook. So thank you for tuning in. It's great to be with you once again. And here I am with my gorgeous stable mates, Mr. Pete Hilke, who is below.
Ladies, how are we? Hey, just quickly, Women's World Cup 2023. How good is that? I tell you what, AFL,
teamwork.
wake up, people, wake up.
Teamwork.
Yeah, it was great to see.
The
Teamwork
Women's World Cup.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It is very,
absolutely
very
fantastic.
I thought you'd be happy about that one, Petey.
Very happy.
Lots of great, strong women role models, just as our own Catherine Savazio is looking very French this morning, mon chéri.
Oh, bonjour, bonjour. Well, I'm going to talk all about taking you off to a French destination today.
Oh, how lovely. Without leaving the house.
That's right. Well, there's no choice at the moment, is there?
We're still doing it all, aren't we, Helen Reiser? Good morning, sweetheart.
Totally. Yes, I know we're in lockdown again.
But
there are still things we can do. So I will take you through some of the fun things, especially kids as well. It's really difficult to find.
I'm just confused. I don't know. I'm confused. We're in, we're out, we're back in again. We're not doing this, we're doing that. We can have 5 people do-si-doing, but we can't have...
off, on. I think it looks like, when I do all my research, it looks like if you don't have a computer or a phone where you can pre-book, you're kind of stuck at home, because everywhere you go now, you're going to have to pre-book and do your research. Find out what time, because times are all different now, what time they open, how long you can stay at a certain place. Sometimes some of them it's only an hour session, an hour and a half session, 2-hour session. So really do your research, and it makes us become motivated and self-sufficient. So I'll take you through a small list of or long list of places to go and think.
Do's and don'ts. Of course, we're all so excited because it's school holidays again.
Look, I think you're the only one that gets affected by that out of us, Jack.
Your enthusiasm is just infectious.
I'm pretty sure we've just done this. So now it's school holidays again. So, and then of course the other joyous thing we had happen this week was the snow has been delayed. The snow season has been delayed again, which means the snow trip is now off. There was tears, there was throwing of pillows, there was tantrums, and that was just me. You should have seen what the kids were like. They were, the dog was crying, everybody was like, so I had to regroup in 24 hours. Again, first world problems, can I just say this? I'm very aware of this is the first world problem. But so everything kind of basically went tits up. And then in 24 hours, we had to cancel all of the snow school, ski school, the whole thing off the boil. And then we've now rebooked, instead of the snow, we're now down at the beach, which in Victoria at this time of year is not great.
You might as well be at the snow.
We won't be at the snow.
You might as well be at the snow.
We could still see snow. If we're going to be down at Blairgowrie next weekend, there could still be snow. So all is not lost. But
I love it. I love it.
It's
you've got it going on, Jack. You've just got it going on. I just love it.
My organisational skills are being pushed to the absolute brink at the moment. But anyway, we've recovered and the family fun bus is back on the road. So stay tuned.
Oh, it'll really be on the road again.
We really will be on the road again. So anyway, all is not lost. Again, first world problems, we're all together and we're all still healthy, and they are the main things. So, we're very, very grateful that at least that's the case. So this morning, Petey, you have got, because we are back in a situation where, of course, we thought we were home and hosed, but we are actually home and still hosed in that way. We're back to being a little bit more self-sufficient, aren't we, in the kitchen?
Oh, look, very much. And this week, yes, we do know toilet paper gate. It's come back, but also frozen veggies, tinned veggies. Oh, my goodness gracious me. So what I'm going to do is take you through a quick little process. And here's a challenge for you all who are listening to this show. Go into your freezer, Take out a packet of mixed vegetables, because I'm sure everybody's got them. Take out some frozen meat, because everyone's got them too. I want you to create some dishes here. And it's quite easy. If you've got mince, you've got frozen veggies. You can make up, whether it be a shepherd's pie with some mashed potato on top, beautiful. You can put the mince aside, put a little bit of Worcestershire sauce through it, put a poached egg on top of it for breakfast. Outstanding.
Oh, wow.
You've got beef, lamb, cut chunks up, put the veggies through it, tin tomatoes, make a beautiful casserole. These are just part of what you have in your freezer, what you've got in your pantry that you can use. Now, so here's the key. I have given my darling wife a challenge for today. I've taken out, a couple of things from the freezer, and I've gone, you can utilize the pantry, you can utilize the fridge. You're only allowed to buy one thing only.
What is this, MasterChef?
I was going to say, this is MasterChef challenge.
Is there a mystery box?
Yeah, well, now, the mystery box is your home. The great thing about it, you have such a big mystery box, because what we tend to do is you open up your pantry, you look at it and go, okay, I've got all this stuff, but I'm going to go out and do some shopping, and I'm going to buy all of this other stuff and restock the pantry that's already stocked. So start to just, let's have a look and see what you've got inside. Put something together. Share it. I want to know what you, and you at home, and you watching this now. You. That's the one. See, I got the finger right. What are you going to make that is going to be absolutely superbulous on this Sunday? Superbulous. That's the word of the day. Superbulous.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually did that last night. I didn't know. I thought we might do dinner out last night, but then I decided to cook. And I had stuff in the pantry. I just went and bought some fresh prawns, and I ended up making a prawn pasta, but added in, the gluten-free pasta, the passata, organic passata sauce, kale and spinach and broccoli, because I always have to add that in, and chili and lime juice, and it turned out really well. No worries. Proud favourite.
But the great thing is, it's not only about fresh, it's about utilising what you've got. Yeah. All of you guys know I'm very frugal in the kitchen. I like to utilise everything that we've got. Give it a crack. I'd love to see what people come up with.
Thanks, Pete. Good stuff. Always coming up with great ideas, and someone who's always got great ideas in relation to business, as well as getting out and socialising and social media, and not to mention dresses and clothes and shoes, Catherine Savazio.
And you know that I never let an opportunity to dress up go by. So today I am feeling very French. Because I wanted to celebrate the fact that the postponed Alliance Française French Film Festival is back on, which is wonderful for them. Yes. They will launch it again in conjunction with, Helen, my twin.
Oh la la!
In conjunction with Bastille Day. So it'll be on the 14th of July to the 4th of August. But it's going to be travelling around Australia, obviously with the social distancing measures that are in place. 7 cities, I believe, across Australia, in conjunction with Palace Cinemas. So I'm really, really happy to see that that's back on. I just have to read you this film that I think would be very good for me. It's called How to Be a Good Wife. In 1968. Way before I was born, the head of a housekeeping school and for teenage girls has her pristine life implode when she encounters her long-lost first love, while simultaneously learning that her business is on the brink of financial ruin.
Wow.
Anyway, that's one movie, How to Be a Good Wife. Who cares about that anyway? So that's one of them.
Is there one called How to Be a Good Husband?
No, there's none. They're all the ones that are coming out now, like, the movies like Bad Mum.
In real
life. But they do have a few of the wonderful ones, like there's one, La Belle Epoque, and they always do some beautiful new features. And there will be some special events and things around that as well. So you need to visit the Alliance Française French Film Festival website. So just search for that because it's a long website name. And going with the theme of French, one of our most beautiful French-themed hotels in Melbourne, the Sofitel, has a special offer. It's an advanced saver with brekkie. So you can boast that you're in the tallest Melbourne French-themed hotel, and you can tick that off your bucket list. It comes with free Wi-Fi, complimentary breakfast at the beautiful number 35 restaurant. That's for less than $300 if you want to go and spoil yourself. And you can even head to South Yarra. You can go and visit some of our hospo friends. The Palace Cinema is down there as well at Como. Beautiful French restaurant, Bistro Gitan, and its partner, La Hotel Gitan in Paran. And they're doing still takeaway hampers as well as lunches and dinners, but you need to check with them what's on. Another one of my favourite down there, of course, is Entrecôte. So you can kind of say that you're walking around the botanical garden, getting some exercise, but then do a really short walk like we usually do and head over to Entrecôte and sit down for a long coffee. So
their breakfast is so good too. I love it.
They've got a long STEM class as well.
Yeah, it's lots of things to do. So I think that's a beautiful way to celebrate a little bit of Europe in Melbourne in the coming weeks. So please keep that in mind and go and support some local businesses during our French Film
And don't
Festival.
forget Française as well.
I love Française. Look, there are so many amazing French restaurants.
I love Française. Beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful as well. I've had some very special celebratory occasions there. Gorgeous.
Oh, but thank you, Catherine. That's lovely. Yeah, and look, because no one's going to Europe anyway, we might as well try and make
We
good
can go
at
there in our
home.
mind.
Yes, exactly. And talking of making good at home and trying to make the most of every experience, Helen Rise, you're never ever short of ideas and being up with the scuttlebutt.
Yes. Well, Dry July is coming up this week, and this is actually a little close.
That doesn't sound like any fun.
Now, I know we want to enjoy and go out and have a wine. Well, they've introduced Dry July-ish, or Dry-ish July, actually, and it allows participants to go as dry as they're willing to try. So, Jack, you know, actually...
3 hours, half a day?
14 days, 21 days, or the full 31 days. So depending how good you are and, you know, how you, but I, you know, www.dryjuly.com and yeah, definitely support feeling a little better and looking after your health for the month of July. And
Helen, you know, I'm probably at the 90-day mark right now with no alcohol, so it's not that difficult. It wasn't for any particular reason, but I thought, oh, look, have a little break, and Dry July is coming up. I'll do it for July as well, so I'm going to be supporting it.
2 months.
Well done.
You know what? It wasn't such a struggle. I once you stop, you kind of stop. You know, it goes
out of your system and it's in your chemical structure changes.
But I just can't help myself, you know. And, anyway, now just before I wrap up, there's a few lovely things that you can do with children over the school holidays. You know, like taking a stroll through botanical gardens. Or, you know, as I said before, check your website for opening hours of everything and have a look at how long you're allowed to stay wherever it is you go. Melbourne Zoo, the zoos are open, but all visitors have to book online for their tickets. And
it sounds like Jack's got a zoo at home, though. She's already got the whole...
It is already a zoo.
Go far.
You can just drive past the front of our house if you like. If you want to see a zoo in action, knock yourself out.
You know, you can go online and do research everything you need to know before you get there, so you know what to expect when you get there and go, oh, God, you know, I wish I knew. The other one I thought a lot of fun, Luna Park opened yesterday just in time for the school holidays. Holy Moly and Striped Bowling have reopened with 1.5 hour or 1.5 hour packages, including beverages for families and kids. Again, you have to pre-book. And also a really lovely place to revisit is the State Library of Victoria, just opened this week.
That's a great place.
And there's 5 separate rooms, so there's lots of really historical, amazing rooms or spaces to visit. They're open to visitors. You will need to book a seat before you visit, and because they need to obviously care for and management of safety of, you know, visitor numbers. You can book 1 or 2 daily sessions, and they're from 10 a.m. to 1:30, or in the afternoon 2:30 to 6, 7 days a week. And then because they're limited with computers as well, there are 14 computers that you can hire. And you get them for 45 minutes each or whatever. So, but you do your research so you know what to expect. And when you're in the city visiting the State Library, there's a fabulous place that's reopened called Pink the Restaurant. They launched last year, but they've reopened, and they've got new chef, new menu, new cocktails, new vibe. And they're Wednesday to Friday 4 p.m. till late, and Saturday and Sunday 10 a.m. until late. So you can do breakfast or brunch as well.
The good thing about that place is it's just always pink and it's beautiful. It's just such a vibe, pink, uplifting, happy vibe.
Oh,
great, it's gorgeous.
And if you look on their Instagram, the new menu looks amazing, and kids I think will enjoy it too. So
there's pink eggs now I think on the menu.
Oh, gorgeous!
And that's it for me.
Oh, thank you, Helen. Thank you as always. You're so informative. Today we're really lucky. We have a fantastic guest joining us today, all the way down from a shipping container in Tasmania. We have author, explorer, leather goods creator, photographer, Nick Jaffe joining us from Tasmania. Welcome, Nick Jaffe, from your shipping container in Tasmania down there. Great to have you on the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
It's great that you're joining us now, and I would think that probably one of the people in the world that would be really struggling from being in a lockdown situation would be an explorer like yourself. How have you been coping?
Yeah, look, it's been interesting. I was in Africa just a couple of months ago and made the snap decision to fly home I'd only just made it. So I've been back in Tasmania since late March, and I'm in my second stint of self-isolation right now. So
wow.
Okay. Yeah. I can imagine that you would be finding it really tricky being the world traveller that you are. So really interestingly, Nick, you were part way through, tell us about this, you were sort of halfway through circumnavigating the world both by sea and then by road, weren't you? So you'd sort of completed the first part of that expedition, which was the basis of the book that you've got coming out now, which is the Years of Thunder that you've about to release, is that right? Yep. So tell us about that first part, and then now what's happened with the second part.
Yeah, so the first part of the journey was to sail from Europe back to Australia. So the concept was essentially I was living in Berlin, and I decided to go on this sort of journey of self-creation or something like that, and bought a small sailing boat, didn't know how to sail, read a lot of books.
Oh, wow.
Myself how to sail. Yeah, and then sailed across the Atlantic up to New York, and then I trucked my boat from New York to San Francisco, put the boat back together so it was small enough that it could fit in the back of a car, in the back of a trailer, and then sailed across the Pacific and ended that journey, and then did a bunch of other stuff with my life for a few years. I did another voyage. I sailed across the Pacific again in my second boat through the South Pacific. And then, about 2 years ago, I decided to essentially continue the voyage by land. And so I decided to set the parameters for the expedition, which was to continue the circumnavigation around the world, but to drive from the most southern road in Australia to the most northern road in Europe. So the most southern road in Australia is down here in Tasmania, and the most northern road in Europe is in North Cape in Norway. So went all the way around Australia, went to Perth, shipped my car from Perth to Cape Town, and then I was driving up the African continent. And in the end, I only got about 10 hours up the road before I had to turn around, park the car in Cape Town, and fly back.
Wow.
And so how did you hear about, I mean, when you got into Cape Town, you already must have been aware, obviously, that there was this, potential pandemic situation going on. So was it just a matter of you just keeping up to date via social media as much as you could possibly in the, African kind of wilds there in the outback, trying to keep a temperature, pardon pun, of where things were at?
Yeah, so I mean, I'd spent nearly 2 months in Cape Town because my car was nearly a month late in shipping. So I was sort of stuck in Cape Town, and then I had some sponsored equipment that was late. And anyway, I was there for about 2 months, and I was very well connected digitally. So I was keeping an eye on the pandemic, and I didn't really, like a lot of people, didn't really have any idea what it would turn into. But actually, the pivotal point was for my birthday in the middle of March. I went to J-Bay to go surfing, and I treated myself and got an Airbnb for a couple of days. And I was sitting on my laptop, and I started reading more closely about what was happening in Italy. And it was at that point that it really started to dawn on me. I just thought, well, Italy's a first world country. And if that's what's going on there, how on earth is this going to play out here? And 2 days later, I booked a flight, and I ended up flying home, I think 4 or 5 days later, and I caught the second last South African Airlines plane. Yeah, out of Cape Town.
That's so lucky. Yeah. So where's the car then?
So the car is parked with some really great friends just outside of Cape Town in a guarded sort of estate. So but my car's name is Penny, and she's just sitting there.
Bless.
Yeah,
I was going to say, please don't tell me you parked her at the airport, because by the time you get back, you are going to be up for an absolute fortune to get that car out of the car park. If it's anything like Melbourne car park, I think.
I'm waiting for you to complete your journey.
Yeah.
So Nick, you've obviously spent an awful lot of time on your own. I'm assuming these trips were solo, is that right?
Yeah, they've been predominantly solo. The first trip, there was this very small section where I got engaged for about a month.
I was going to say where you fell in love. Yeah, that happens to everyone.
Yeah. So it's been pretty much all solo. So
you've had a lot of time to do soul searching and really, I guess, take stock of what you want in your life. And
I've had a lot of time to think about things, for sure.
I went on your website and had a look at the incredible photography and the way you capture moments, globally. It's just beautiful. You're a true artist, really. Apart from being an explorer and a storyteller, you tell amazing stories through your photography as well. So, I mean, having to cart around heavy equipment across the globe, and the insurance on all of that must be enormous. Seeing as you get yourself, on these ships and so how do you pick where you want to go and photograph and tell your story? Like, I mean, obviously you do a lot of research and how do you work all around all of that? Is that
I guess, yeah, I mean, to talk about costs and insurance and stuff, I mean, these things cost, huge amounts of money, and I sacrifice a lot of things to make these things happen. But in terms of the sort of creative aspects to it, I mean, to me, I studied art, and I think the voyage that started this whole thing really came from art. And so I see these expeditions and these adventures as creative endeavors. And so to me, it's these huge problem-solving exercises. It's like, well, how on earth do you drive from Cockle Creek in and Tasmania to Norway? So it's a really interesting process to work out all of these things. A lot of research, and at the end of the day, it's also this huge project management task, really. And from a creative aspect, the images I love sort of minimalism. I love color. And so I love raw beauty and things like that. So I guess I work with those kinds of ideas in the back of my head.
And you certainly haven't. Sorry, Helen.
I was going to talk about the book as well. So you've written a book, and where can we find this book? Because I'm fascinated. And what's the book about?
So the book I've been writing for many years, and it was when I got back to Tasmania because of this whole pandemic issue that I was actually able to finally finish it. And I was really set on doing this book entirely on my own. So that meant like writing it, typesetting it, designing it, the whole thing. I'm sort of obsessed with this idea of doing things from scratch on my own. So I finally had the opportunity to do all of that and put the book out there. And if you want to read it, it's The Year's Thunder By, and you can just Google my name. It's on Amazon and Booktopia and Book Depository and all these sort of internet retailers. So that's sort of have gone about it. And it's a really personal, super personal book about that journey from Europe back to Australia. So the sort of the grander context of the book and why I was really pushing to finish it now was that I wanted to have that book to cover that first half of the journey.
Yeah.
And then I was working on the second book, which was going to be more image-based, which was going to be, well, I hope will continue to be about the second half of the expedition. So it was meant to be these two books.
So we can
Beautiful.
go to
That
the
sounds
website,
amazing.
Nick Jaffe. So it's Jaffe, JAFFE.com.au, and we can find you on Twitter and Instagram. And so it's very exciting. And congratulations on the book and that you managed to complete it, because that would have taken another year to complete, really, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
otherwise.
it's just, birthing a book is really, it's intense. You're looking, I remember researching, like, well, how many words do I have to write for a book? And I'm like, I've got to write like 80,000 words. And you start thinking about that number. And I was like, well, I'm going to have to break that down. I mean, how many days, how many words is that a day? How many months is that? So I'd go back with that.
I think we've got you in one. It's either Penny or the book. And because you start here, it's the book. So well done.
And of course, you haven't been sitting around doing nothing since you've been back in Tassie. Obviously, you also have your leather goods label Kahoot, which that you were working with as well, which is all beautiful leather goods that you hand make as well. You're a bit of an overachiever.
My work. I'm in self-isolation, but I've got 2.5 acres and I've got this workshop, so I'm super fortunate from that aspect.
And I notice you're actually running a workshop in a couple of weeks, is it? Is that like as soon as you're allowed to break free, you're going to run a workshop down in Tassie?
Well, no, the workshop that's on the website at the moment, that was from a workshop I did in the past, and I had intended to keep doing those, but it's just not possible. So I was doing some in-person workshops for a while. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Where did you get your shipping container from, Nick?
So when I bought the property, it was on the other end of the block, and I hired this crane one day, and this huge crane, just this absolute monster crane, came up the driveway. And he moved it for me and moved it over into the corner of my block. So I've been working on it as like a little side project since I moved.
And did you kit that out?
Actually, I lived in here for a little while. It's fully insulated. It's all got windows and doors and all sorts of like bed. It had a kitchen. It had all this stuff in it. Yeah. So.
Fantastic. Well, you certainly are no slouch, and if there was ever anyone that was a good example of how to keep yourself busy in isolation, you certainly are a beacon for everybody else sitting around wondering about what Netflix show to watch next. You're sort of, you're making leather goods and writing books and planning, circumnavigations of the planet. So well done you. But it's been great having you on the show, Nick. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Nick.
Amazing. Thank you.
Thanks, Nick.
And you can also check out Nick's products at www.cohut.com, all of his leather work that he's doing as well, until we get to see more of him once he's allowed out and back on a plane, buses, trains and automobiles, which will no doubt hopefully be in the next 12 months. But thank you, everyone, for a great show this morning. Thank you, Catherine.
My pleasure. Have a beautiful day. Bonjour.
Yeah. Bonjour, but thanks, Pete.
Yo.
Lovely to see you. And thanks, Helen.
Thank you. And thank you, Nick. It was fascinating.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us on the Breakfast Table. We'll see you again next weekend.
Happy Sunday.
See you guys.